Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Sorry for the delay. Holy shit, everything just crashed on me. Stream Elements crashed.
Beat that
and
Stream Elements up.
broke my giveaway for credits. So exclamation point fun if you guys want a chance to win some credits, guys. We're gonna be doing that giveaway halfway through the stream. So exclamation point fun in chat if you guys want a chance at 5 credits. And welcome in, Infested. How are you doing? How was your week? Welcome in, all you lovely chatters. We are going to be talking baseball, guys. This week, we're going to be talking rookies, games of the week. We got some news to talk about. Infested's going to let us know how his experience going to his first game of the season went, with a little story there as well. And we're going to talk rookies. There's a lot of impressive rookies in baseball this season, and we are going to talk about them, including one special one from San Francisco as well. So let's go. How are you doing, Infested?
I'm great. I as everyone knows from last podcast, I was going down to the city to watch my first Yankee game. It was the Yankees Red Sox. Emptied out my bank account to be able to go. So I have to take the train to go down to the city. And at the train station, getting ready for the Amtrak to roll up for us to walk out on the tracks to get in, my girlfriend goes, "Hey, there's something in your hair." And I was like, "What?" She's looking. There's a tick on the side of my head. We're getting on the train. Can't do anything about it. So I'm riding down to the city with a tick stuck on the side of my head. I had to get into the hotel later and have it surgically removed by my girlfriend. But
Oh my God.
So luckily, I checked it out. It looked like it was a dog tick, which doesn't. I could get other stuff. Who knows what happens to me later? But Lyme disease was my biggest concern because where we live, and I don't know if up by you, it's as bad, but it's a big deal. So I was more concerned about that. But that was fine. That was in the afternoon before heading to the
That's
stadium.
crazy, though. That's crazy.
I just decided to take the subway from where we were in Manhattan over the city, and I always forget when you go to these Saturday games that are going to be packed, how packed the subway is also.
Mm-hmm.
I was like up against the wall, like waiting, and my girlfriend doesn't do well in large crowds,
Mm-hmm.
and she also doesn't do well in boxes. So it was interesting because she was not happy, and I think I ruined subways for her now for a little bit, but
No more
I'll try to
subways.
go at a slower time next time. So that being said, we got to the game, plenty of time, and I wanted to make sure we had plenty of time because it was going to go quicker.
Yep.
Normally you go to those games, you got like 4 hours, you come back, it's after midnight type of thing. It was a 7:30 game, and no joke, that game got over at 10 o'clock. And yes, it wasn't a high scoring game. It was 3-1, but even 3-1 games, the Yankees Red Sox never went 2.5 hours. Never.
And so how is the biggest thing we talked about games. So if you guys have paid attention to baseball this season, the game time according to the average game from last year was 3 hours and 6 minutes. The games are now 3 hours and 36 minutes. No, 2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours and 36 minutes. Wow. Mark that out in editing. 2 hours and 36 minutes, which is absolutely incredible. So I've been to 7 games this year in Toronto, and the experience is incredible. The game, you're focused, you're paying attention more. Did you find that as well?
Yeah. So I was like in there, and I liked the clock between the innings, on top of just everything. They everything's timed, and it was good to see. I will say the flip side of that is if you're not a focused fan, some of the casual fans that come and may be easily distracted or not pay attention could miss stuff because you look down and 2 innings could go by.
Yeah.
So
no, 100%, 100%. I feel that.
By the time when it was in the 6th inning, I was like, it's in the 6th inning. So, because we were talking about going to get ice cream, and I was like, well, we got to go now because there's not a lot of time left in this game. So it was just funny because I'm curious if the stadiums are going to like it because maybe, or they're going to have to tweak stuff a little because they're selling less. Because
Mhm.
I'm not a drinker, but so the drinks aside, but you get food, you get dessert, you may get a snack or something.
Mhm.
You don't have as much time.
Mhm.
So, before between innings when they were warming up or a pitching change or something like that
Yes.
that took longer, you could go and wait in line and not have to worry about missing out on a whole inning.
Yeah, because
And now
well, especially like a pitching change, you would go during a pitching change, and if there's two outs you could go line up for food, even if you miss the final out or final couple batters of that inning. You know that though that would take some time, and you'd be back before the start of the next inning.
and teams that have a lot of fans, it's going to be interesting. I know the Yankees are doing stuff with like Uber Eats, and so are other stadiums and things. And
I heard that.
about getting stuff delivered or at least pickup areas in certain parts of the stadium. It'll be interesting because like we're talking about this week, and one of the teams that we should talk about that I know we didn't talk about but the fact that they've been on a roll is the last place Oakland Athletics.
Oh, hell's yeah. Yeah.
They had a reverse protest
Yeah.
in their stadium, and it was interesting because they had 27,000 people. I don't think I've ever seen 27,000 people in that stadium.
Well,
ever.
okay, hold on. They were a very good team for a while, and they did draw. They had a very good support from their fans for many years.
Yes.
But
I'm talking about like
the last
recently.
Yes,
like,
since 2020, yeah. Since 2020, it has been awful. It has been awful for that fans. And also, I don't know if you heard what the team did that night. Is 2 hours before game time, they decided to donate all the money to charity because Nevada was telling the owner that you aren't doing enough for your community. And so he was like, well, all the fans are buying tickets to our overpriced tickets for our shitty team and selling out the stadium. Let's donate all this money to charity. I think he donated $800,000 or something.
So that's the result of something that they're trying to get out of the community, but it resulted in good. So I'm always a fan of
it worked out for the fans.
Things happening,
yes.
And even in case, but just looking back, they're still normally only getting like 1.5 million, maybe 2. In some seasons, but
and only
but
4. They got
the
7,000
years. They've really haven't been pulling in that much. However, they're on a good pace, even though they're pretty old. And I think some of it is the fans trying to tell them, "Hey, put a good product on this field, and we'll come back out.
Now,
get us that stadium. Come and talk to us."
A sad part about that reverse boycott is just before the game happened. It was announced that Nevada had approved the public funding for the brand new stadium for the Oakland A's, and the A's are now no longer like 99% moving.
So there's still
a tiny bit of hope.
A chance, and there's still things that can happen. I mean, Oakland can still do stuff, but yeah, I mean, look.
What with the commission?
Vegas. Vegas is trying to get more stuff for their city that's not gambling. It's other things for people to come in. I mean, granted, it all revolves around, hey, come in, check out our casinos. That's
exactly.
But if you can lure people in, it'll be interesting.
It does.
It does. An article.
It does suck though, like as a fan, and like as a fan of the only Canadian team, it does suck. And I have seen this happen before when an owner. As I will say this, fuck Jeffrey Loria for what he did to both the Miami Marlins and the Montreal Expos. When an owner says, I am tired, and decides to not. So like the Coliseum could have been upgraded. Could have, like, obviously the city of Oakland and the owners needed to come to agreement, but they wanted to move. So they didn't fix the stadium, which is an awful stadium.
Yeah.
They traded away, we talked about this earlier, they traded away every single star. Matt Olson, Sean Murphy, Sean Manaea, Matt Chapman, every single good player they had, gone. and and they didn't really get much back. They may have a few studs, but they got not really anything back. And they've raised ticket prices for worst product. Which, what is that
Yeah.
going to do? Drive away the fans. And the commissioner comes out yesterday and says, "Well, we see what the fans are doing, but maybe you guys should support your team better." And for me, I'm like, bro, that's like going, boom, I'm slapping you in the face. Like, the owner was literally pushing you away. So, like, as a fan, I like, Toronto is one of those mixy cities. So, like, if the team's not good, nobody comes. Like, we get about 20,000, 15,000. We average about maybe 30 for a couple games.
I mean, the thing is that averaging, even on a bad, is enough to sustain the team. Though.
Exactly.
And that's the thing is Oakland's bad days are like 4,000.
Yeah. Well, and also like,
Raising
raising the prices 3 straight years when you just get worse and worse and lose. There's like, honestly, the only person to watch on, like, there's a couple people, but the only real person to watch is Ryan Noda, maybe the DH as well, and Blackburn, the pitcher. There's like 3 people I want to watch on Oakland. So,
you know what's crazy though is that they've won. They've won games. I mean, they
that is absolutely a good point to make.
They won. won.
And who they beat too.
2 of the 4 games this week against Tampa,
including that game where they absolutely sold out the stadium.
True.
And didn't they also sweep Milwaukee in Milwaukee just before that?
No, maybe.
Yeah, they sweep Milwaukee. Yeah, they swept Milwaukee in Milwaukee. It's like, what? Like, we were talking about Milwaukee. Like, Milwaukee had finally decided, like, gotten close to getting past Pittsburgh and taking that division, with Pittsburgh being up and down. And then Milwaukee goes and loses 3 straight to Oakland. And Oakland had just beaten Pittsburgh as well. Like,
and that last game of that Milwaukee was pretty crazy because there were 6 runs scored in the 9th.
Yeah,
from each side. So it definitely.
Yeah, so like there is some hope. There is some hope for that team, and like I said, they're not gonna be any good, and they're gonna be in Oakland for at least a couple more seasons, I believe.
Yeah. It doesn't. I mean, even if a stadium is built in Las Vegas, it takes time.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in a union city like that too.
Yeah.
It's going to take time. That's just how
it's one of those. It's a great story, and honestly, like, to be fair for the thing, they beat Tampa. And, like, so the biggest thing from a baseball standpoint is that Tampa came into Oakland, and Oakland won the first 2 games. Now, Tampa did win the next 2 games, which is absolutely fair. but Oakland
we expected Tampa to sweep them, so that's
exactly
a crazy difference.
So speaking of games, one of our games of the week was Miami and Seattle. And so the last game was the last game of that series, I believe, was yesterday. And there was an amazing play. I'm going to link that into chat, guys. I will also link it at the bottom of the video. But there was an absolutely amazing play made. A game, like, literally, bottom of the 9th, bases loaded, 1 out. And the Seattle Mariners player, I think it was Suarez, hits a ball. It is gone. He hits a grand slam. But Sanchez of the Miami Marlins robs the homer, robs the game-tying grand slam. And honestly, and they won the game 4-1. That was an absolutely great win. Miami did beat Chicago, but they did lose 2 or 3. And in our games of the week, I thought I was telling you, like, they were beaten up on bad teams. So they were closing in on Atlanta. And the Seattle series was going to be telling to see if they were going to be like a legitimate threat. And
I mean,
because you got to beat good teams on the road. Now, technically, they're better. Technically, they're better with their record and stuff. But losing 2 or 3 to Seattle in Seattle, No, it was a tight series. It was a tight series, to be fair, but
I mean,
it's one of those series that I really think if they were going to prove to us that they're a legitimate threat in the NL East, that they needed to win.
so the thing is though, they if you look at their splits
Mhm.
against over 500 teams,
Yeah,
they are the better team in that division though. On
that
that aspect.
that is true.
So,
That is true.
they show up those one run games that they seem to win a lot of. They that's where it's going to be interesting because when I say this, they just when you've gutted talent for that many years in and out, and you're trying to rebuild. Uh,
Or you picked the wrong talent because
yeah,
some of it
yeah,
they
that's true.
traded for guys who had potential
Yeah,
but never.
it's tough if someone gets hurt. You don't
Yes.
necessarily have that depth of next man up. Now
Mhm.
we'll see. I mean, they've been doing it so far, but they definitely need to find some stable pitching though. That's
Yeah, well
they're starters.
They do have two. Now Sandy won the Cy Young last year.
Yep.
Sandy won the set, but he hasn't been the same pitcher this season. And Jesus has been pretty good. Has been pretty good, but you didn't expect him to be that good this season. And we're gonna talk about him later. We're gonna talk about him later. But Yuri Perez has been really good. When we talk about the rookies, we'll talk about him. But yeah, Sandy has been good. Jesus has been okay. Edward Cabrera and Braxton Garrett have been also okay. But their starting staff is, like I said, we mentioned before, is all under 27, and they all have other than Sandy and Edward, they're all mostly under 4 ERAs, like just under 4. So that is a pretty good rotation. Now, obviously, to be more successful, they got to be a little more dominant. But that also could come around because we do also mention that they still have a negative run differential this season, and they're winning a lot of one-run games.
Yeah, and so
So yeah,
we'll see if they're actually active in trade. I'm
yes,
interested if they're going to actually try to bring people in.
that is no 100%.
Uh,
Yeah, we'll see. I honestly,
because I'm always curious those and I'm going to say small market, but they're still spending. It's not like they're not spending this year, but they're still lower comparative.
yeah,
All the teams went up so much that when they're
yeah,
almost at 100 million, it's still
yeah,
one of the lower teams. So
exactly. No, 100%. Very
um,
true.
we'll see. I mean, are you excited about the series they got coming up?
I am. Oh, 100%. I am.
You gonna
100%.
go to any of those games? No,
Uh,
those are home. Never
those are
mind.
not at home, so
Yeah, yeah.
I would absolutely love to, but I don't have I don't have any plane tickets. Anyone want to get me a plane ticket to
To
go to
Miami?
Miami?
I'm sure you could get cheap tickets from
I
Toronto
could
to
definitely get a
Miami.
cheap ticket, but I need to find some place to stay.
I mean, it's Miami. There's always places to stay.
Yeah, but the Canadian the currency exchange it's not easy.
No, that's a little harder because that's what one thing I did
Oh my
like
god.
about
Oh
I
my
was looking
god,
at my
anagrams.
bills, and when I paid for the hotel, I was like, wow, that was a little cheaper than I was expecting. So that's good.
Uh, so yeah, so like that's also so we'll talk about that when we talk about games of the week. That is gonna be something as well. I'll put on like if we both agree, I might put on their games of the week. Toronto hasn't been playing well, so maybe Toronto doesn't deserve to be on the game of the week again. The other game of the week we were going to talk about is also Toronto and Baltimore, and we were talking about this off stream, as well. Baltimore. It is June. It is the end, almost the end of June. Like it's the and Baltimore is legit, and we
Yeah,
have to
and
give
they've been
Baltimore credit.
winning. They've been winning some really good games,
And,
and they make
yeah,
some good mid. So I want to talk about a player now. I'm going to take this opportunity because we're
yeah,
talking about Baltimore because it just shows um, why they're this good. Where they picked up Aaron Hicks
yeah,
when the Yankees released him, and Aaron Hicks just didn't do well at Yankees. I don't know if it was just poor coaching from the Yankees, which is possible. I'm always like any other New York fan. I could fire everyone at some days and like everyone other days, but or if it's just, he just didn't do well in the New York atmosphere. I mean, he did at one
Mhm.
point, but he just had issues. He's been with the Baltimore Orioles for 13 games
Mhm.
so far, and
Mhm.
he's batting 351. And he he's got he's got walks. His on base percentage is 467. He's got a 1.088 OPS.
Yep.
I mean, he's legitimately a center. He's playing center field again.
Well, and they picked him up because they picked him up. One of the biggest things about Baltimore is they have lost two of their big offensive threats. Now, one of them wasn't playing very well this season. Ryan Mountcastle was having a down year, hitting only 227 with a 264 on base percentage. That's a down. Ryan Mountcastle is more of a 300, at least 250, 300 on base guy. And so it's been a down year for him. But they also lost Cedric Mullins, and we were talking about Mullins. Mullins was playing at a really good level for them, playing great defense, great on base, great average, leader of that team. So they've been winning these games by getting production from people they didn't expect to get production from, like Aaron Hicks, and it is insane of like how they've been winning games too. Like
So
they've been putting.
and why I wanted to use him
Mhm.
is because I was reading about his approach. The
Mhm.
coaches didn't even do much. They said, "Here, approach it like it's a couple years ago."
Mhm.
It was like before, and to me, it's like, who the hell is getting paid on the Yankees that don't tell them, "Oh, maybe it worked in the past. Maybe you should retry that." Like, what the, I look. I wish everything good about him. He took a contract. People crapped on him. He was only getting
Yeah.
paid 10 million. If I doubt he'll keep at this level, but I hope he does well. Now, the problem is he's doing well with a team that neither of us want to win because now.
But like at the same time, we were talking about they are better than us. They have been playing better. Their team is clicking. Their defense is better. Their offense is better. Their pitching's been better. And yeah, we both know our teams may not be at full strength or not playing well, but at the same time, maybe in April we could have said, hey, we're gonna catch up. Maybe in May we could have said, hey, this isn't legit. But they're 7-4 in June.
Yeah.
They're 7-4 in June, and they, like I said, they just took down Toronto in a series, winning today. They're going on the road for Chicago, and they have Tampa. Now when we talk about games of the week, definitely that's going on to games of the week for
Yeah,
sure.
because I mean, look, we get to see if they're that. I mean, the one thing Baltimore has that Tampa may not have is that expense account
Yeah,
that they can just do because it's not like they're small market. Now they were
but
playing like it for years, but
but
they're not.
and they also have no contracts on the book. We also have a question in chat. Can I ask a money baseball question? 100%, Nana. Ask a question
I
about
love
money for
money.
sure. Yeah, we love to talk about the contracts and stuff in baseball. Go right ahead.
Well, while we wait for the
but
question,
you're absolutely correct. They also have a lot of young players, and they're not paying many people like contracts, so they could take on a contract from a team that may not be in the running, that may need to get rid of some money for that. So that's a free agent.
And we were talking about
Okay.
what
Well,
teams could trade for what.
before we get into that, let's answer the question: why do baseball players make so much more money than other athletes? Okay, so this comes down to entertainment value, and technically they actually don't make more money than other athletes. The NBA, their contracts are starting to go rise because the money that the league makes from TV revenue, ad revenue, and all that stuff is why the players' contracts go so high. So basically, you have to think of a baseball player, basketball player, hockey player, professional athlete as entertainment. So they're like the actor in the movie, and on your TV shows. They are an entertainment. So contracts now, Players Association, they all go and and ask for revenue based contracts from the league. So the league has to give a salary cap or sets the bar based on how much money the league makes, how much money the owners make from the league. There's a link in chat. It gives probably a way better description than I am, because I was not prepared for a money question today.
I mean, so what that says is just it's the average annual player salary in each league of all the sports. NBA is top. So the difference with why NBA is always there's a lot of money in NBA.
Yes.
And there's less players. They only need to pay 10 to 15 players on average, and then other stuff. While baseball has to pay more.
They have a 25 and also baseball
now,
they also pay. There's a lot more staff and stuff that comes out of team budgets as well.
And there's not a cap per se in baseball like hockey.
Yeah.
What they don't have a cap. Any team can spend. Well, what they have is a luxury tax, which basically means if you're spending at above a certain level one year, you get potentially taxed. If you spend it again the next year, you get a certain tax level, like 5-10%, and it keeps going up as it is. I don't have the exact numbers on me. We can look at that. But it's on the amount. So if you spend 10 million over the amount that you're supposed to, some teams could end up having to pay up to 40 or 50% if they're consistently over that. So that extra 10 million will actually cost them 15 million.
So speaking of that, this offseason, the New York Mets signed a bunch of players to a lot of money. And there's no like Infest is that there's no cap in baseball, but there's checks and balances so the teams don't spend way too much money. And they went well past that, which means that anything that they're over that 20% in luxury tax, they're past that level, which means anything over that, they get taxed at 100%. So if you go over that by 20 million, you pay 40 million. And you're already paying 20% on being 50 million over the luxury tax limit. So you're paying whatever. What is that? 20%. That is 15 million.
Yeah,
it's something or 5 million. I think it's 5 million. 5 million of 50. So they're paying $45 million.
There's sites that go. So now this luxury tax stuff goes into a profit sharing. Baseball's setup actually can be better, but it has to be used. So some of the lower teams, they were caught. Like the Pirates for years were caught. The owner was caught. Instead of reinvesting, he was pocketing it.
Well, Oakland.
Paying down debt.
Oakland was literally removed from the revenue sharing program for that exact reason. But okay, so the biggest thing, so Nanogram I know is a hockey fan. So there is a reason that hockey contracts are capped. It's not the best reason, but it was more to keep parity throughout the league. So one of the biggest things with baseball and basketball is there's a little less parity for those middle level players. The superstars, you know what they're going to get. LeBron James in the NBA, like Aaron Judge, in baseball, you know what they're going to get. But the mid-level stars, they fluctuate between like 20 million and 10 million. Like it's a wide range. So what the NHL wanted to keep an even playing field so that there was more parity throughout the game. That's why they introduced a salary cap and a salary floor, which is very important. Now we're going to talk about this during the off season in one of our baseball off season podcasts about what we think baseball should do with their salary cap. And one of the biggest things that I'm going to mention is that there should be no cap. I love that baseball doesn't have a cap, which means teams can spend money and at will. There's no need to do some fancy trades like the NBA and make the salary cap work. You could just trade for guys taking money and you're all good as long as you can afford it. But there should be a salary floor. I like what the NHL has done with the floor. It means that teams have to spend a certain amount, which means that teams like Oakland can't be sitting there with nobody who's worth the lick of salt, and they can pay a person to actually be on that team.
Their number's 60 million this year. They're paying 60 million in that, and that 60 million includes
deferred and
Yeah, your
yeah,
injured reserve, your retained, the buried money, so
and
people
money
that,
they probably took, they
in
held back in
Baltimore,
trades. Yeah,
though the thing is in the Pirates are still playing decent baseball.
yeah,
They are first. The Pirates and the Orioles are showing that you can compete temporarily. It's not consistent, but you can compete temporarily.
mm.
Same with the Rays. Well, the Rays do it differently, but
Rays do it
those
differently.
three
Yeah.
teams are 27th, 28th, and 29th
Now,
out of 30.
the Pirates are a bit different than Orioles. Orioles have good, like have amazing young talent, all high draft picks, like doing well. Pirates
Yeah.
a little different. They're a lot. Some of them are veterans who are still
But
who are just coming around
I
and
get it,
yeah,
but the amount of money that's being
yeah.
spent is
Oh,
still
100%.
similar
Exactly.
between these three teams.
Fair
And
enough.
Oakland, it's not like Oakland's that far away from having made the playoffs,
Right.
so it's not
Yeah.
like they couldn't do it. And these other teams. Now, I'm good about the salary floor, but
Yeah.
my issue is some of these team owners and some of these team places may or may not be able to afford it constantly. So
Well, it
there's
depends.
got
It
to
depends
be
on
some.
what the floor is. And like I said, that's something we'll go over in our off stream and also in our off season podcast. But yeah, thank you for that awesome question about money. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We will. Beautiful, right there. I was about to do that myself. Let's go. So what were we going on about?
I wouldn't be a good co-host if I didn't actually, do something.
What? You're a good
So,
co-host.
yeah, I'm a Yankee fan, so it's gotta
Wow.
be.
Okay. Well, let's Flame, you have been drafted in.
I mean, anyway, I'm getting traded live on the stream. Flame, make sure you hold out for a good contract. So, though when I did sign, I signed a no trade, so you'll have to put me on waivers. Anyway, so we need another marker, but let's get back. Was there other? We did have
we have
a
we had
game
4
of the
games a
week.
week. Yeah.
We had Texas versus the Rangers that we said check it out. Two really good teams. Not Texas against the Rangers. Tampa against the Texas Rangers. Let me speak properly. That series went the way I actually thought it was going to. Tampa won 2 games out of 1.
Yeah.
2 games out of 3.
Yeah.
They hit a little better. I was surprised though that it wasn't high scoring every game. I mean, the pitchers know how to shut down people, but I actually wasn't surprised it wasn't a slugfest. I thought a game like this was almost going to be, instead of playoff style, it was almost going to be like all-star way because it's still early in the season and pitchers aren't as amped up to shut down every team. So, but
no, fair enough.
But the pitching battle in that game 1 that it was Glasnow and Henny.
Yeah, Glasnow pitched well.
Yeah. Shut down. I mean, that Ranger team is a really good hitting team, and the fact that he's back. I mean, that's gives a boost to Tampa every 5 games. It's interesting.
One of the things though is that the Rangers, they actually we picked that as the game of the week because they were doing absolutely well, coming off some great wins. They beat Baltimore, beat Pittsburgh, beat Detroit, swept Seattle, beat St. Louis, and then they go into Tampa and lose. Then they come home and lose, and I'm like, bro, what's going on with Texas? Like, we were hyping them up, like, yo, Texas is going big time. They're crushing it. And we were talking about this last week. We had a question last week or week before that. And can Texas last past the All-Star break? You still think they can?
I still think they can.
Okay.
I still think they can. I think they, like any team, you go ups and downs, and it's not like Tampa was a bad
No, that was a good, yeah.
And the Angels actually have been playing a little bit better lately.
Fair enough.
So they've been in. I don't know what today's the game they're playing right now, and they're down by 1. But
hey, if
you know,
they
need to
honestly, if
win
they
today to split that series,
and
so.
if they win today, then that makes up because they did win yesterday. That kind of makes up for 2
and they
losses.
may go on a 4-game winning streak if they win today. So you don't know.
The
But
biggest thing is because Houston is playing Washington, and then they have Cincinnati, then they have the Mets, so they have 3 bad teams in a row. And so like, and they're playing at home. So like right now, Texas is in a stretch where they're playing some decent teams, and Houston is not. And like this could be a tough because like, well, obviously we're they're actually going to be playing my Blue Jays, so that's not really a good team per se. Then they got Chicago, so they got some games coming up which they could win, and they should win that series with Toronto. And they should definitely win that series with the White Sox as well.
I mean, look, I mean, it's.
But yeah, but you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Like I said,
I mean, Houston's been the weird team for me most of this year because you don't know, and they lost another player, you know.
They
But
have 3 starting pitchers on the IL, and their first baseman, their free agent signing has his barely hit worth his weight.
I mean, look, everything in me hopes that they don't make the playoffs because, like, every time they're dangerous in the playoffs.
Well, technically, I need them not to make the playoffs, so the Blue Jays will make the playoffs.
Yeah. So you have to root against. That's the problem with having multiple teams that you like.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
mm-hmm. Hey, they're my 4th favorite. Jason number 1.
I mean, look, I'm a Yankee fan. I might have some teams that I don't hate, but you know, like I kind of have to. I'll say this like at a low level, you know, if the Mets were to win, I wouldn't be sad. You know,
that's fair because you are still New York.
Well, yes, but like they just split a series with the Yankees, and I was hoping that they would lose both games. So you know, I wanted the Yankees to win. So that's how it is.
And speaking of teams,
you have your team. And, you know,
speaking of teams that I wanted to win, that I actually expected to win. The Arizona Diamondbacks was their last game of the week, and they were coming off a stretch where they were winning. They were beat Washington, lost to Atlanta, but beat Colorado and lost to Boston. But that the Dodgers were failing, so that had put them ahead, and then they go ahead and sweep Detroit, in Detroit, which is great. Then they win the first game at home versus Philly. But then they lose the next 3, and like how we say how Baltimore is legitimate. A little bit earlier this season, when they were facing Los Angeles, San Diego, Los Angeles, Milwaukee, Miami, St. Louis, San Diego, they had a tough April, and they crushed it in April, 15-12. Then they went 17-10 in May. So, are we considering Arizona legitimate? Because like, yes, they're leading the division, and they're 41-28, but they like I said, we were a little soft on them, and now they're leading the division with the Dodgers, Padres.
The Dodgers have had a hard 10 games, you know.
But at the same time, I can't. The Dodgers have Mookie Betts, JD Martinez, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, Max Muncy. Honestly, I can't give the Dodgers a single quarter because of who's on their team. Yeah, they have 3 of their starters on the IL, and Clayton Kershaw's the only one and Clayton Kershaw and Tony Gonsolin are really the only ones giving them good consistency. But
no, they definitely look. There's no reason for them to be 3-7 their last 10 games. They played the Reds, the Phillies, and the White Sox. They shouldn't be. That shouldn't be.
Even with subpar pitching, you have good offense.
Right? It's just it's those fans are letting them hear it. And we'll see. Arizona, I feel, can stay consistent because they do have enough talent on that team. I mean, they've gone out and they got players. They have stuff. They just, you know, it took them a little bit to gel.
And on the Corbin Carroll's crushing it.
Their pitching has been a little better
that is
too,
very true since they got rid of Bumgarner.
And that's and that's important. I,
They're both.
I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard
great.
time thinking if they're gonna stay first.
Okay.
The parity. So a team that I thought was going to do better is starting to do better in that division.
Okay.
And I feel if they really push, it's San Francisco Giants.
Okay.
And if they push,
surprising.
The parity in that league outside of Colorado, Colorado's still a rebuilding team, and it's gonna take them a little bit to get back to competitiveness. But the other four teams, they could be feeding off of each other.
Well, we're disappointed in San Diego. Like we all know, San Diego should be better.
Yeah, but look. Can they still turn it around? Do they still have the talent? I know it's still early, but look, once we hit the All-Star break, there's still what?
It's not really
75 games.
That's true.
80,
that's true.
That's a lot of games to potentially just be better.
There's 60 games. Yeah, there's still.
Yeah.
We're
is
just
that how late it is?
We're just under 100 games. We're under 100 games left in the season. But like I guess what is considered like to be fair, I guess you're right. August, like after the July, you start looking at the standings in June. You start caring about the standings in July, and then you start really focusing on the standings in August and September because those are the months, right? Those are the dog months.
The NL West. And even though there's other divisions that probably have, though the NL West and the AL East, I feel have the most parity in the two divisions.
And the AL West. I think the AL West.
So the thing about that is I feel like the AL West is an injury or two away from not having that parity, and that's the thing. If you don't have the depth ability, and the next person up. What if Trout or Ohtani gets hurt? The Angels are not. They're not. They're not the same team.
Mm-hmm.
That team starts losing more.
You just reminded me of something. So we'll talk about it near the end.
But it's those things where I feel like those other two divisions,
that's fair.
The NL West, just have enough depth on all their teams.
But also the talent.
Granted, I will also say that those are also the teams that have big money. Not saying that the other divisions, but if you look at the payrolls, outside of the two in the AL East, but they can spend it. That's the thing. I mean, Tampa maybe not. I don't know what
Tampa can't. But Baltimore.
They might.
They can't. They can't spend. But Baltimore can spend. They haven't because obviously they've been bad. But like you were saying, San Diego has a stacked lineup, a stacked pitching staff. And they're just underperforming,
they have all stars on their team that if they start hitting the way they should. I mean, Tatis has been hitting. I mean, he's basically come back and been pretty close to the Tatis of old.
He's been pretty good. He's been pretty good.
And
Manny's starting to come back.
They also got a catcher. And I'll bring up, I know I keep bringing up.
No. Honestly, he's worth it to bring up because holy shit, he came out and hit 6 bombs for them.
They got a catcher called Gary Sanchez off of the bargain bin because he's been released by a couple teams. He's had ups and downs. He was only 30 years old though, and they're liking his defense. They told him to simplify some stuff. And not worry. And so some of his errors have come down.
And they got a great defensive catcher in Austin Nola. Yeah.
The pitchers that they have can pitch with him, and that's what it is. They don't expect, but he's been hitting home runs. He's batting 240. You got a catcher that bats 240 and hits home runs and brings in 15 runs and that's fine.
The biggest problem is that when he's been their only offense. Like you said, they have done well recently. Their May was awful. We were talking about how they couldn't win anything in May. They're pitching, they're hitting this. It always clicked at the wrong time. But the
Like,
Giants,
Soto would be hitting, or
yeah.
Tatis would be hitting.
But the Giants, holy bejesus, they had an awful April. Like we expected the Giants to not be that good. To be fair, like we expect the Giants to be the third place team in that division. Like I expected them to be fourth.
I don't know if in the beginning of the season, I'm pretty sure I expected them to do better.
I put them on par with Arizona. I expect the division to be San Diego, Los Angeles, with Arizona being the team that could come up, because I didn't think the Giants had the offense to compete.
I gotta look back at what I said now. I'm gonna have to watch one of the first episodes.
That's what I think I
I'm
said.
pretty sure I was high on San Francisco.
Yes.
Because I liked the talent that they still had.
Yeah.
However, I think a couple episodes in, I was like, all right, I'm done with them. They're not. Because that's what you do in baseball. You got like a high roller coaster, and then down, and then high.
They've gotten the pitching, and like we've talked about their pitching before. They've gotten the pitching, and their offense is coming around. Jock Peterson has come back as well, which is big for them, and has come back and it's hit. And like I said, they've gone 8-4 so far in June, which is really good. And in that, like I said, with San Diego struggles, with Los Angeles struggles, that puts them 5 games out of first. Like that puts them 4 games over 500. They are on a roll right now, and honestly, we're gonna put it. I'm gonna block, stock, and barrel it. You guys should watch that game Friday. Like that's a game of the week right there. That's flipping game of the week. Friday night.
You could take the next 3 series.
Yeah. 100%.
As potential, because they have 3 division series.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, we'll have an episode in the between there, but they have 3 division series: the Dodgers, the Padres, and the Diamondbacks.
And the Dodgers on the road, and the Padres in Arizona at home.
They're definitely going to get tested, and their pitching's going to get tested. We'll see, and someone we'll talk about a little later, shortly actually. Will get tested too, and it'll be interesting. So,
yeah, and like I said, that is gonna be the benchmark for sure.
Who's pitching tomorrow?
No starters announced. Dodgers have starters for the 17th and 18th, but nothing for tomorrow. So, but honestly, I still think it should be the game, mostly because it's Friday night. It's that Friday night game, the first game of the series. That's the game that, honestly, personally for me, you're coming off some good games. You're going into a team that come on, they've been rivals forever. Like you're coming off a 4-game win streak, a sweep of St. Louis.
Fair enough.
You want to win game 1 against the Dodgers.
I'm interested to see Webb versus Gosselin.
No, that's 100% fair. Webb versus Gosselin sounds like Gosselin's pitching well.
Now, Webb's been hit or miss, and the fact that he's pitching a 3.15 ERA, but still only has 5 wins, shows you how weird this season's been. Normally, when you got a 3 ERA, you got a winning record. So
no, exactly. Honestly, the offense hasn't been there. The offense hasn't been there when Webb has started, and that's been a big thing for them. And
that's a good game to pick.
Yeah, 100%. We'll put it on the list. Put it on the list. So like that. So like I said, Arizona is also having a nice little run. They got Cleveland at home, then they got Milwaukee. So I am going to personally say as well that the Sunday game versus Milwaukee is a game that I think you guys should watch.
Monday?
No, the Sunday. They
don't play Sunday.
They don't play Sunday. What, the 17th? Isn't the 17th Sunday? Saturday. My bad.
You're talking about Arizona, right?
Yeah. The Saturday game. Arizona versus Cleveland. Shane.
Look, man. Look, I have hard enough time following stuff myself. Now you're really messing me up.
Shane Bieber
last episode. I was giving you the wrong scores and stuff, so you can't be doing this to me.
Shane Bieber's on the mound for Cleveland. I don't know who's pitching for Arizona, But like I said, that should be a good game, a good test for them. Cleveland is one of those teams that can surprise you. They play in the worst division. They play in the worst division in baseball. So you honestly really don't know where, like, what they're gonna bring every night. But like I said, they have some amazing players on that team, so they could surprise you. And Shane Bieber is a really good pitcher. So like I said, that's another game of the week for us for sure. No, I'm just we're saying just because we're talking about those two, I decided to do games of the week a
Well,
little
no,
early.
and that's actually a regional battle too. I mean, Cleveland versus Milwaukee. You know, so
Hold on. Cleveland versus Milwaukee? We didn't say
yeah,
Cleveland versus Arizona.
Cleveland versus Arizona. Yeah,
It's not
see
a
now you
regional
just fucked me
battle.
up.
It's not a. I'm like
It's- You know what?
I'm so confused now. What's going on
That's
here?
because Arizona plays Milwaukee on the, and you were saying Milwaukee, and then I got Milwaukee in my head. So let's restart this stream. You know, I'll mark this because
I beat you to
you
it.
do actually get the. Now you got like 13 markers.
Okay, well, so do you want to segue? Do you want to segue in before we talk about the rest of the rest of our games of the week? Do you want to segue into rookies? Because I know you want to talk about a rookie who was on one of the teams we were just talking about. We actually haven't spoken about him yet on the podcast. Patrick Bailey.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. I was looking for other games, but we can talk about our rookies because Patrick has basically been maybe the future catcher,
Especially with Bart being demoted
for San Francisco for a while.
Well, Bart was their guy.
Yeah.
He was their high draft pick. He was highly touted.
Sometimes when you don't,
Like
stuff
second
doesn't
over,
work out, someone else is going to be there to pick it up. And
second overall too.
He's come in.
Mm-hmm.
He's played 20 games.
All right.
And in that 20 games, he's hitting 329, a couple home runs. But the thing is he's been an amazing catcher.
Mm-hmm.
The pitching staff loves it. If you look at the numbers, they're pitching great for him. He's got a 1.2 WAR as a rookie.
Yeah.
In a partial year. So the funny thing about Rookie of the Year is that sometimes you don't need to have played the whole year if your numbers are amazing.
Yeah.
But unless something happens, he's probably won that starting job. And when you have a 24-year-old catcher, you don't have to give them as many days rest either. So they'll get plenty of time.
And they did something unique actually. So Joey Bart was on the IL. And they don't keep players like for position players you get 20 days, for pitchers you get 30 days on the IL. So 99 times out of 100 a player is usually not left in the minor leagues for more, like if a position player is usually there on a rehab assignment for 10 days, unless they have a tweak or something. It's usually 10 days at most, or 3 games, which could be 3 days in the minor leagues, and moving up the ladder, and then they're back in the majors. What happened is he was on his rehab assignment for 4 days, then they called him up and demoted him. Back to the minors. So because just to get him off his rehab assignment, have him stay in the minors. And which kind of means that, hey, Patrick Bailey, it's your job to run with, which is honestly like Joey Bart needs to figure out, because Joey Bart has mad potential, and like you said, he could lose his starting job.
And so the thing is or he backs up, it's going to be interesting.
Well, or
they
could
use him as a trade, trade.
Or it turns into the Blue Jays situation with 2 starting catchers, because honestly, catchers a lot of times moved away from that Yadier Molina, your starting catcher, and having just a backup guy. It's moved away from one guy and another guy. A lot of teams have one starting catcher, one main guy, but they also have a second guy who's kind of good too.
I mean, so that's also because we haven't had a lot of Yadier Molina types,
Yes.
or Pudge types,
Salvador Perez types, yeah.
because San Francisco
They
has had.
Buster
They've
Posey was a starting, I mean, so
yeah.
like it could, well, like I said, baseball is evolving, and that could be one of the next things that evolves is a two catcher system, which honestly is good for both for the catcher itself. You're less wear and tear. You can also pitch run, pitch hit if someone's struggling, and you have another person you can put right in who's also can go right in the game. But yeah, we'll definitely we'll see. And also Patrick Bailey, that's a really good stat line. Now you know who else has a really good stat line? Corbin Carroll. Corbin Carroll. Honestly, do we have to start putting this man in MVP? Like, does he get start looking at the MVP this season?
I mean, maybe. I mean, it wouldn't be out of the question. I mean,
Like, I know he started late.
I mean, not really. I mean, are you?
Like, he started a little bit late. Like, he wasn't. He did get hurt a little bit, I believe.
I mean, he's played 65 games.
Okay, so maybe I'm wrong there.
He's 22 years old.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. My apologies, guys.
I mean, look, if he keeps this rate up, it's possible.
14 homers.
He's got a 3.3 WAR, and if you keep this rate up through it, he could be at that elite level of 8 to 10 WAR. Potentially by the end of the season, and you can't. Especially with what some of the injuries that have happened to some of the players that are at those levels.
Yeah.
Especially with Arizona. I mean, especially in the NL, it's going to be interesting. So,
and he has been on fire for them. I definitely.
It's crazy because the Rookie of the Year battle could be against two NL West players. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, because there's other players that could be up there, but like if a catcher has a high WAR, and as his rookie season, that gets you some Rookie of the Year points too. So because you're not just and not taking anything away from the other positions, but the catcher isn't just worrying about himself; he's worrying about every pitcher on a pitching staff. So
100%,
it's a harder, and that's why most catchers end up coaches or managers because they just are, the old thing was you took too many balls off the head. So, but, the thing is they are baseball people. They understand the game. So, it's interesting. But I like watching this kid, and, it'll be interesting to see how he progresses. I think,
well,
he's got an okay on base percentage, but what he is fast. He's got 19 stolen bases.
100%. The league changed just in time to have players like this come into the league, but he also hits homers too. Now the next guy, we've talked about him on the stream before. We praised him in April. We also then 2 weeks later said he wasn't doing so well. And then he has proven me absolutely wrong. He had a rough little May. That's fine. He went down to his lowest was midweek of May. May 15th was around a time for podcast. He went all the way down to a 248 average and a 287 on base percentage. But it's now literally a month since then. It's been a month since that exact date, and he is at 283 and 337. And this man has 13 home runs, 40 RBIs for a first place team. And he is holding down the fort at third base. Josh Jung is living up to the hype.
And he is, and so I feel that he has the benefit of being on a good hitting team, which helps him not have to worry.
A little bit, yes, a little bit.
Pressure away. It can take that pressure away and allow his excellence to come out.
Honestly, you make a good point there because wasn't Corey Seager hurt for a lot of May?
Yeah.
And so that means there's less protection in that lineup. They're able to challenge him more. Also, like he was a little rookie, they changed up what they're doing. And as a rookie, you got to adjust, and he did.
Yeah. I mean, that team's just been hitting, and it's
Yeah.
great to see. I will say, I'm disappointed in his stolen base numbers. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you might not be fast. Like he's a third baseman for God's sakes.
No, I'm just kidding because we would never say that before this year because stolen base numbers are just a lot higher now. It's interesting what will happen at the end of the year, how much higher we're going to be.
So there's a few more rookies I'd like to talk about. One of them is a little interesting. Now he plays for a New York team, and it is Francisco Alvarez. Now, with what happened with the Mets, he's 21 years old. I believe he was up there in the prospect. I don't quote me on this, but he was either number one or number two in raw power. And this man, I've seen him hit a few home runs that have just been bombs. But I believe he was thrown into the starting, like the catcher's role. He was thrown into the starting catcher's role when injuries happened, players not playing well. They had Gary Sanchez, Michael Perez, Thomas Nido. He was thrown in there as a 21-year-old having to catch all these pitchers for a Mets team and also try and perform in New York, which we all know is not easy. And he didn't get off to a good start. April wasn't good. May was okay. He's been figuring it out in June. He's been figuring it out. Like in the past month, he's hit 9 homers.
I mean,
he's taken more walks. He's getting a few more hits. He's not just like a swing and miss strikeout guy or swing and hit a home run guy. Like he's starting to be develop a little bit. What do you think?
I got to see him for 2 games. Not in person, but on the TV when the Subway series happened, the Yankees versus the Mets, and he played both games. And I when I look at rookie catchers, I'll say it. I'm not always expecting them to be the crazy hitters. I need them to be solid at the other stuff because the hitting will come. But most teams don't need that. They don't need their catcher to hit. They need them to do the rest of the game. So that being said, he was one of the reasons that the Mets won the second game. He got on base and he scored a run. So it's
he's starting to become more of a hitter. And he's still really young. So
I mean, they have him in the 5 spot of their lineup most games, which is for a rookie that's crazy to think about. But
they also did just lose Alonso, so maybe bring in the power because I know he was when I first started watching him earlier in there, he was hitting 9th. They put him in 9th,
Well, normally you put your catchers down there because you just it's just what it is. But he a lot of power hitters though. He does strike out a lot, Now, is that a bad thing? Maybe not, but will that trend? We'll see. But he's got 39 strikeouts and 148 at bats, so that's.
So speaking of really, really young people in the major leagues, the Miami Marlins called up a 20-year-old. I
can't even imagine. When I was 20, I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah. They called up a 20-year-old. He has made 7 starts in the major leagues. In Yuri Perez. He got called up on May 12th. He has made 7 starts since then. Now, his first couple starts, he went 4.25 and 4.1. But since then, he's gone 5, 5, 5, and he went 6 innings against Seattle in that last game yesterday. 6 innings, 2 hits, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. Like, that is pretty good.
He's one of the reasons that the Marlins are doing as well. He's 4-1 with a 1.8 ERA. You can't ask for more.
Yeah.
That's especially not for a young pitcher. You know, they're still learning the league. They're still figuring it out. I haven't been able to really catch a game of his, but I'm gonna have to. Um when's the next time he pitches? Now I need to know.
Yeah, he just pitched yesterday. So it's probably going to be in 5 days.
Well, I mean, maybe. What's
Sorry.
going on? What's going on in chat?
Sorry, I just won $50 in another stream, so, or something. I'm not $50. I don't know. I won something. Yeah, I think I won $50. So yeah, thank you, Haley.
Oh. So do I get a piece of that action? Is that what that works?
Maybe. And thank you, Gamer Monkey and Housebug, who also came to my stream. Thank you guys so much. I'm just thanking them. Sorry guys for everyone. I'm just thanking them.
No rule. We're live on a thing. We need to mark this though, but
yeah.
Say congrats.
Yeah, so okay, the other rookie that I want to talk about is not a big time prospect. So all the rookies on this list, Gunnar Henderson, we could talk about him as well. Alvarez, Inuri Perez, Josh Jung and Corbin Carroll have been really big name prospects. But Will Brennan of the Guardians, he wasn't really a big name prospect. And he has, over the last month, absolutely crushed it. He has hit over 346. He has only a 374 on base percentage. But so he hasn't been taking as many walks, but he has been getting hits. And Cleveland, come on, it's Cleveland. They always find a way to have some random human do absolutely amazing.
Especially in their outfield.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, these teams that are on the border, they're young players are what is going to be interesting. I mean, look, you got to get excited as a fan base to have someone in your early 20s. I mean, shoot, Miami with a 20-year-old pitcher. The last 20-year-old pitcher had some issues and ended up, losing his life. So hopefully this, they learn from that and make sure that they're watching these young players that are starting to come back and get success. But Cleveland's the same. I mean, they need this excitement. It gets people in the seats. It also then the other players feed off of this young energy, and that's what's different. And I loved about the game of baseball. If you went back 40 years, maybe it's almost 50 now. I don't know, but 40 years. There was an unspoken rule that if you're a rookie, you don't get to be flashy. You don't get to be yourself.
Exactly.
That's not like that anymore. The players feed off of each other, and the veterans actually now embrace that. And
yes.
I feel like they like, oh, we got this young talent. We're
exactly.
going to do better, and they play a little better. Maybe it's all in their head. I don't know how to express how athletes can go.
Well, no, then I think you're absolutely right. They're given like a rookie coming up. Is given more freedom. Like you call a rookie up, that rookie is supposed to help the team. It's not like, oh, they're gonna take my job. They're gonna ruin my career. Now it's you'll come up, be yourself, and just like enjoy the experience. And honestly, I like that. I like that how that change has come to baseball. Because like you said, it makes the rookies look at the rookies performing well.
Yeah.
No. Let's go. So do you want to find us a couple more games of the week? Well,
I do want to. I know we've talked about another rookie before.
Oh, hold on. Oh my God, Smokey, you didn't have to flip and do that, homie. Holy bejesus, Smokey. Bro, you flipping bro, Smokey. Oh my God. Oh my god, bro.
Oh, you're just paying for your day today, huh?
Oh my god. Smokey, you absolute amazing human.
He's almost at 200 subs.
Oh,
$25 gift card. Is that what that
oh
says?
my,
I
well
don't
wait, we're also gonna give away five. We're gonna give away 5 more credit tomorrow thanks to Smokey. 10 more credit thanks to Smokey. Have a great night, Son Shimmy. Holy bejesus. Sorry for like I usually don't I usually don't interact with chat that much during our podcast, but I had to because what Smokey just did there. Holy
No,
bejesus,
look,
guys.
you're live, and this is why, for the most part, you do sometimes edit so that we can take stuff like that out. But
Yeah.
it's I'd
We,
rather
we, we
it
might we
be
might leave that in this time.
yeah, do it. That's maybe we'll get you more subs. People wanting to be on the recording,
Hells
so.
yeah. Hells yeah,
Smokey,
dude.
you're gonna be on the recording.
Yeah, yeah, we're
How
getting
it
Smokey.
works
We're gonna like
Um,
hard
and if
set
you
to
do,
Smokey.
and if anyone does like 50,000 bits right now, he'll put you on the podcast next
Okay, well
week.
no,
So,
you're crazy. You're crazy.
like, hey, if it happens, well, we can bring some up. Pay to be on the air is not a sad thing to happen, Um, but
Oh
I
man.
still want to talk. So I saw the Red Sox
Okay,
and the Yankees play, and I
yeah,
got
that's
to
fair.
see the Japanese rookie. I know you
Oh
don't
yes. Oh
like.
on. Oh yes.
I know you don't like to call him a rookie
That's
because he
fine. Yeah.
played Mastaka Masataka Yoshida.
Mhm.
And it was. I mean, he didn't have a very good series because the Yankees pitched him well.
Yeah.
And they were pitching him. They got some scouting, and it's interesting, but he I saw him play outfield, and I saw.
Oh my God, Smoke! What the? Holy
Maybe
bejesus,
Smokey
Smokey!
wants to be on the air too,
Oh
but
my god. Well, Smokey, you better come to the stream tomorrow because we're giving away a $25 gift card thanks to Smokey because we just hit 200 subs. Holy bejesus, guys. You guys
is
are
that for
in
the
chat.
day, the month, the week?
Bro, hearts out to you, Smokey, you sexy son of a bitch. Oh my god, you absolutely did not have to do that, Smokey. Absolutely. You did not have to do that. Holy bejesus, bro.
Are those Canadian or U.S. subs?
No,
I
it's
don't
it.
know.
The gift card is whatever your local currency is.
Really?
Yes.
So if
Someone in
someone
Europe
buys,
wins it, I give them a $25 European gift card.
so should I like? Never mind. I won't say that on air. But
200 subs is a milestone, bro. You give away a gift card and persons make sure they get them $25. I don't care how much it costs me. Holy
no,
bejesus,
I
Smokey,
wasn't.
yo,
No,
bro.
I meant like the sub cost versus what you
Oh,
get. It's fine.
oh, it
Because
cost.
I know different countries the subs cost different. So
It costs more for me. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
Yo, dude, shout out to Smokey. Hearts out to you, you beautiful bastard, man. I love and appreciate you. Thank you for coming in here and showing this so much love to the community. Hope you enjoy your emotes. Thank you to Gift and Subs, to Shauna, to Real Rosie King, Turtles Mommy, Soldier King, Kayla, OG Thor, Gary Lane, Caramel K, Undead Gamer, Cali Girl Chris. Yo, we got Ocelot, Fluff the Cat, Cage with them, Oathy, Ravage Bushka, Magic Mayhem, Drip Tip, Testantine, Rebelating Eon. I know every single one of the people who got a sub. I know them all. That is
Well, they're
insane.
active users.
The only one that's not really an active user is Gary Lane.
I see.
But
That's
they're
awesome because I know Twitch has been, it's fine.
But I
That's
know
great.
every single one of them. So holy bejesus, Smokey, you absolute stud muffin. Like, holy shit. Okay. Well, I'm sorry for interrupting you. Please repeat what you were saying.
No. Look. So Yoshida was playing is a solid player, and I think unfortunately Boston's going to have a good player for the next 5 years.
Mhm.
Reasonable, and dangerous because he's got a swing that I worried that if he had made contact, I mean, if the Yankees didn't make their pitches, it definitely would have been some different games.
Yeah.
So it's and he's still learning. The league. There's always a learning aspect. So by the end of the year, we'll see how he is. But it's going to be interesting because if he puts up pretty effective numbers, the problem is he's played some DH, which might hurt him on any sort of like rookie of the year type of voting. So we'll see. But
I'm
that's
not honestly, not these days anymore. Not these days. I think like he's mostly played left field. Learning left field, honestly, we both know left field in Boston is not easy. Manny Ramirez made it look easy sometimes, but it's not easy to learn left field, especially
the young Manny.
Yeah, young Manny, but like it's just coming from a different league, man. It's like a different, not even just a different league, a different country. Learning the language, learning the players, learning the pitchers. He honestly has outperformed my expectations for him, and I'm happy. Like from a baseball standpoint, I am happy that Boston picked up a player like that. From a personal standpoint, not so much because obviously that 297, 374 on base percentage is gonna suck if they get some great players on that team. But
and they got him locked in for 5 years, 90 million. From his age 29 to 35.
Yeah, yeah. So if he's good for 3 or 4 of those years,
let's hope that they bomb and they just trade him. So.
Fair enough.
But games of the week. So we already talked about the Rays versus the O's, Dodgers versus Giants, which now is two division type games. I want to watch a Braves game.
Hells yeah.
Trying to figure out what, but the Braves are just being consistent. 8-2 last 10 games. They're doing what they need to do. They pitch well. They hit well.
Well,
I think the Phillies have been playing just as well. So I'm going to say that series, another divisional series.
Yes,
because that's the thing right now. It's a battle. So the Phillies versus the Braves, and I'm trying to figure out which game. But I think you can win with all of them. It depends. They have 2 night games and a day game. I'm always a fan of sometimes of a day game if you got time.
I'm going to say the Thursday game. I'm personally going to say that Thursday game. If you guys have time to watch that, that's the game to watch. If not, the Wednesday night game would be my best option, especially with what they're coming off. They just beat the Dodgers. They came off a series win versus Washington, swept Detroit, beat the Dodgers, beat Arizona 3 of 4. So like they really had a rough stretch in May. Like they really had a rough May, 10-16. So they needed this. And like we said, Philadelphia Phillies went to the World Series last year. They maybe they were lucky, maybe they were not. They played well enough to go to the World Series. That's an accomplishment. They played well enough to win games in the World Series. They are a good team with good experience, a lot of veterans on that team. Miami is a young team. They're only 8 games out of first. This series versus Atlanta could be a very important series for them.
It's true, and so Bryce Harper's been hitting a little too, and that's always that's he can basically carry a team if he gets hot. You know, so the hype that he had when he was younger.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if he followed that through, but he's a superstar level player. Whether he does it all the time or not, he's got the capability. So, it'll be interesting. They're going to come up against the Braves after going against the Athletics, which will be interesting to see. I want to see how that series ends up because both of these teams are at a high level. They've been playing a lot better. Now the Braves have done it the whole year, and the Phillies just needed some stuff going on. They did have that accident in Philadelphia with a bridge falling and stuff that helps when you're playing. It gives that emotion of, hey, let's win one for the season, your city and stuff. So maybe they're coming off a little high of that, and that could cause them to drop back down. They've been hitting better, which was key.
Yes, very much so.
And and we'll see. They're a team that needs to trade for pitching.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
In the off season, not in the off season, in the trade time.
But the
maybe
thing
in
is,
the off season,
only if they are in the hunt, which they currently right now are not. Now, personally, like I said, personally for me, they are not in the hunt. This is just it. They're on a hot streak right now, facing the best team in the league, best team in their league, and this is I think that's a very important series. Right now, they're not in any hunt for the playoffs.
Well, the question is what if they do beat the Braves?
Well, then
all 3 games.
Because that changes that would change my perception.
Because they go up against the Mets too, and the Mets are having a little issue. They're up and down.
Mm-hmm.
They should sweep the Athletics. I know the Athletics are having a happy time, but when you go against a team that actually does what they should do against you, they should sweep them. Now, that being said,
at least, like I said, the Athletics have been pretty good, so at least 2 of 3. The Athletics will win one game. Like I said, remember, we can't predict. Personally, I don't predict sweeps because it's so hard to sweep. Even a horrible team is baseball. The horrible teams will win games.
And that's why if you're a bettor, sweeps can actually make you a lot of money if somehow you bet on that. But
exactly.
You're right there.
Water went down the wrong hole.
So, did we talk? I don't think we actually talked about the series, but maybe we did.
Well, no, like I said, for the Wednesday.
No, the other. So this is just how it is going to be because of where we are in the season. A lot of division times. But Pittsburgh versus Milwaukee.
I was literally just about to say that. I was literally going to say you stole my thunder.
Tomorrow. Well, you got all these gifted subs. You got plenty of stuff. You won like a Ferrari over on Sportscast Squad. So, I don't know what you won, but it probably wasn't a Ferrari. But,
man, I wish I won a Ferrari, bro.
Actually, I have a diecast one we could probably give away, but
nice, good idea.
But the Brewers versus the Pittsburgh Pirates. That division is hit or miss, but they're the parity's there. Cincinnati's actually played themselves back in. We didn't really talk about them. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They're on a 5-game winning streak, but. And maybe if Pittsburgh and Milwaukee eat each other, basically, one of the teams, it's not dominant, but they can.
Cincinnati
could come out of that on top.
Cincinnati has been honestly playing well, and we didn't mention them. I didn't mention them during the rookie talk because my God, did you see how many rookies they have and called up on the team? Like every day, it's next rookie up, next rookie up. Next rookie up, like it is. They just called up what is a second baseman, third baseman? Who was it? What's his name again? I absolutely forgot his name. Ellie De La Cruz, who crushed a homer, a triple. They have a shortstop in Matt McLean, who's absolutely crushing it in 28 games this season.
And they haven't played some bad teams either in the month of June. They played the Brewers, the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
The Cardinals are bad.
Sorry, Cardinals gaming. Sorry, Cardinals gaming.
I don't know what's going on there, but they're bad.
Yeah.
The Royals.
Oh, Spencer Steer as well. I forgot about Spencer Steer, their first baseman.
But they're playing. Just in June they got the Astros still, the Braves, and the Orioles. So they're gonna have to prove themselves, and they've already played some good games. It's going to be interesting. But that Pittsburgh Brewers series.
That's a good series. Honestly, it's important for Pittsburgh. It's important for Pittsburgh to put a little space between them and Milwaukee if they want to continue leading this division. Because they had their April was so good, 19-9, but their May was 8-18. So far they're 6-5 in June. That division is just crazy.
I'm gonna say if we gotta pick
one game.
one game. I'm always a fan of if the pitching is going to be good in the beginning.
Mhm.
That way you get to see is Saturday's game has Keller versus Miley.
Yes.
So,
Oh well, Keller. Yeah, come on. Any game with Keller on the mound for Pittsburgh is a must watch. Honestly, Keller's definitely is going to be an all-star, which is awesome for him. He's pitching. He's pitching well. And he deserves that. And like I said, they have also been hitting pretty well, recently. So. It should be a good game. Milwaukee always surprises me. That honestly, this division completely surprised me because we were talking a couple weeks about the Cubs, and then the Cubs go ahead and just like nosedive in May at the end of May.
So-
and like we said, we're just talking about the Cardinals. The Cardinals, well, you might hear a lot about the Cardinals coming up next month when we start doing our who might be traded talk and what teams should be looking at trades.
their whole damn team. But
Yeah.
anyway, it's, and hopefully some Boston players too, because hopefully they keep on their awesome streak of not winning games. So now I say this, and they did win the series against the Yankees, but that's Boston can't seem to win anything.
What are our games of the week? Well,
we have the Rays versus the O's.
Okay, which game?
Dodgers versus the Giants.
Hold on, but Rays versus O's. Are we doing a game or are we doing the series? Because we like to do games. I know we do.
So it's a 2-game series.
Okay.
So I think you have to watch both games.
Yeah, personally,
because these are two of the best teams in baseball going at it. They are the two best teams in baseball.
Yeah. And
if you go by record, they're the best two teams in baseball. You know?
Well, tied for the best two. Oh no, Baltimore won today, so that's true. Baltimore won today.
No, they're the two. Look, I know I'm not always right, but I am right.
My apologies. Yeah, and one of them you might not be able to watch, because it is a 12 o'clock game, on a Wednesday. But the Tuesday game you should 100% watch.
I mean, that just sounds like excuses. So.
Well, work is an excuse. I'd rather be employed.
So we have these things called phones. You put them in there, put them in your ear. Even if you're working in a warehouse, I've had music in one ear, the computer telling me what to pick in the other. So
So yeah, but also you'll get the two best teams in baseball. Tampa and the Orioles. That is a great series to watch, guys. Definitely check it out. What was our next one?
Dodgers versus Giants.
Yes. The Dodgers and Giants coming up.
And you said Friday.
I personally said the Friday game. More because of how the Giants have been playing. So the reason I said the Friday game is because the Giants are coming off series wins and they're coming in on a 4-game win streak. So that game 1 5-game win streak it puts the Dodgers on their heels. They're doing it in Los Angeles too. So going into your opponent, your rival's stadium, and winning game 1, that's a power move right there, guys. That's a power move.
And they have their reliever turned starter starting on Friday.
Okay.
Brebia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so it might be what, an opener? An opener, you think?
Well, no, he's been starting.
But he's an opener. He's an opener. He's been doing 1 inning, 2 inning, 1 inning.
He's got 2 wins, so
yeah. He's been doing 1 inning, 2. Yeah, so he's an opener. But so they'll have a bulk guy for that game, or it could be a bullpen game. Which also bullpen games are hard for teams that are struggling, like the Dodgers have been a little bit struggling. Yeah. So, because you're always facing a different pitcher, they're coming off consecutive series losses to the Yankees, Cincinnati, Philly, and I don't know if they're winning tonight.
And I did say Sunday might be the better game.
Yeah, so Sunday,
pitchers,
and also that's a great pitching matchup.
So, I mean, look, you're not going to go wrong. It depends. I guess it depends if you can watch a 1 p.m. game on Sunday. Mm-hmm. It's Father's Day here. I don't know if that's a global thing. I don't even know.
It's Father's Day here too. No,
So I don't know. Do you have fathers? I don't know. I get my Canada news from South Park, so I'm not sure.
Flame. Call up time.
But no, if a Friday night game is better,
Yeah,
or a
yeah.
Saturday afternoon game,
Honestly,
that's
to be
something.
fair,
So,
I think both those games should be watchable because of the series
well,
of where they are.
4 o'clock
Personally,
Eastern, I should say.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
I gotta keep remembering when I'm looking at these games. They're local times. MLB Network should tell me in my time, not their local time. It should know where I am because I'm logged in. So get that MLB Network.
Yeah.
You need to do that. And I'll mark this. You can make it a clip. You can say, "Hey, Infested says MLB Network. Get your shit right."
So what was our last game of the week?
Well, that was only our second game of the week.
Oh, well, my apologies.
We have 2 others. We have Philly versus the Braves.
Okay. Well, we talked about that one.
Yep. And we have Pittsburgh versus Brewers.
And we talked about that one. So there you go. So those are our 4 games.
And apparently we have teams that don't play each other also one of the games because
yes, that is very true. We have Cleveland versus Milwaukee, which aren't playing each other, but you definitely should try and watch them play each other because they will sometime.
That being said, it will be interesting to see. We did say a possible, and I'll give you this, is the Marlins versus the Jays.
Yes.
Now, you could tell which game to watch, because you know your team better.
I personally think that's a big series for the Marlins. It's also a big series for the Jays, but I personally think it's a big series for the Marlins. Toronto is a decent team, an AL East team. And I think that facing in a team like that will be another good test for the Marlins to see if they can pull out a series win. I think they should. If their pitching is on point, they can shut down Toronto's offense for sure. Personally, I'm gonna say that game on June 19th would be the game to watch. June 19th would be the game to watch. That's my personal thing. Chris Bassett is going to be on the mound. Chris Bassett has pitched really well. So I say that start is the game to watch for me.
So, because we put a Jays, I will say this. So, look, I gotta because of what it is.
Fair enough.
The Yankees play the Red Sox again, which was crazy because 2 back-to-back weekends, basically. One in New York, and this time it's in Boston. So it's always interesting. Let's see if the Yankees can return the favor and win more. I will say that Sunday's game could be better because Severino is coming off of a not-so-good start against them, and I think he'll improve on that. And they're facing James Paxton, who is always interesting when he's against the Yankees because he was with them for a little bit, and it kills me that they were able to pick him up because he just needed time to get healthy. I thought he was going to do well for the Yankees, but he just got hurt and he didn't have a chance to. So that's my game. However, like anything, watch all. I will always say those 3 games. Are generally going to be on some sort of broadcast, at least 2 of the 3 games because of who they are. They're on ESPN, they're on Fox, they're on, whatever, MLB Network.
Well, it's going to be the Sunday night game. It is so. To be fair, watch the Sunday night game because it's going to be the Sunday night game of the night. Yeah, that is the game to watch.
But what I'm trying to say is all 3 of those, when they play, they're always at night because it's always. Hey, check it out.
Honestly, to be fair, if you were watching, I don't know if you were watching the broadcast of the last game that was being played.
The one that went to extra innings that they should have won, yeah.
No, I forget. It was the Yankees, and I forget who it was, but I think it was last Sunday. Was it Boston? Yeah, Yankees of Boston. So the commentators were like, "This game is absolutely boring." They basically were saying the game is boring and talking about other teams throughout the entire game that would be more exciting than. But no offense. Like I'm not trying to be offensive here.
I mean, look, it was
like the Yankees. To be fair to the Yankees, without Aaron Judge, they don't have really people I want to see.
It doesn't, and that was a pitching duel.
It was
for
it was a
most of
pitching
that
duel,
game.
but
So
but it would also like but it wasn't there wasn't there wasn't anyone exciting. I don't care like who the players in the team. There's no one really you care about on either Boston or because Boston's not that good. The Yankees are pretty good, but without Aaron Judge, they're not exciting. You know what I mean? It was a pitcher's duel and it was a good game, and I enjoyed it. But from my point of view, in Arizona would have been more exciting because they got exciting players. Like, you know what I mean?
it could be a little more exciting because
Yeah.
someone is potentially being
Coming back.
called back up, coming back
Well,
tomorrow.
hold on.
It's
Well,
Bader, Harrison Bader.
yes, but hold on. Like, Harrison, this is something I want to talk to you about. I don't know. We're on stream. Is that do you think that rivalry of Yankees Red Sox like is the same as it used to be? Because Harrison Bader doesn't move the needle for me. He's not a nationwide popular, exciting player. He's just an outfielder from a baseball perspective. From a baseball perspective, he is just an outfielder who plays for the Yankees. Like he is not someone on any leaderboard, on any list, on anyone's to watch list.
It's true. It's true. But he brings that energy that will help them come.
He does. He does.
So I'll talk to you like this. When I was in the stadium on Saturday.
Okay.
The rivalry, I can't speak, but the tension between the fans in that stadium, the Red Sox and the Yankee fans, because Red Sox fans and Yankee fans, they both travel. Yeah. They travel well. They go and they watch their teams, or they live in the cities because people move. You know, was still there.
Yeah.
There was
of course, 100%.
A lot of tension. So the thing is has it suffered a little because these two teams haven't been good sustained against each other for that long? Maybe.
But for me it's more of a factor of who's on the team. So like back in the day when this rivalry was big and baseball was trying to promote baseball, watching Yankees Red Sox was amazing. Because there's players in the team that you wanted to see. But now with the way MLB markets their players, like I would have even though San Diego's has basically the same record as Boston, I would have much rather see the San Diego Padres play. Because they have players that are exciting, that I want to watch play baseball. You know what I mean? I'm trying not to make it like I don't like the Yankees. I watched that game. I enjoyed that game. So that was a very well played baseball game.
I will say,
but like the Yankees and Red Sox to me is not the premier game anymore. It's not a game that I'm excited to watch.
It's true. So if Saturday's game was on Sunday though, I don't know if you watched any of that. Obviously, I was there.
Yeah. I watched some of that.
A little more intense because Stanton got hit.
Yes.
And so I talked to you about Tommy Canel, how I like him because he's kind of a local guy. When he got that ball, the first person that he saw, he paid back, and that's old school. That's that type of stuff. And not I don't want to see anyone get hurt or anything.
To be fair, though, like I don't want that on Sunday Night Baseball. Like I'm against that personally. Like my men's league. The guy made a bad slide. And in a game that they were winning in the last inning, and he made a bad slide into second and almost hurt our second baseman. And it was unneeded, and he walked away. He said sorry, but the team started chirping us. We're down by 4 runs, and we're probably 99% not going to win. And my guy wanted to hit him the entire time. He didn't hit him because we were losing the game the entire game. But like hitting it, like come on, like you don't hit a guy.
I'm not talking that the hitting was. I'm talking about the tension.
Yeah.
So
okay.
All of that years of going back and forth was
fair enough.
I mean, look,
fair
just
enough.
think about it. Like when
there's,
to
me, there's not much tension anymore when the Red Sox and Yankees plays. Like I could see the per game tension, but like to be fair, I'm looking at the games on the schedule, and there was no other game that would have been a Sunday night game. So at the same time, I get it. The biggest problem for me, though, is that if the Yankees Reds are getting another Sunday night game on this Sunday, and like for me, last Sunday, based on all the games that were being played, not a single one of them would have been more like a few of them would have been more interesting, but none of them would have been the level of interest you get by Yankees Red Sox. Now, what games are being played this Sunday night? I currently do not have the games up on tap, so that's why I'm asking.
What,
Baseball Reference will not let me.
what? Well, that's why you also should have MLB.com up. But
Yeah,
you have for Sunday.
yeah.
You have the Astros and the Reds, which
No. Well, thing
But
is, on a Sunday night game, the Reds with all their young prospects, that's a great way to build
they're
fans.
not playing at night, but that game could have
No.
easily
What I'm
have
gonna
been,
saying is that game could have been the Sunday night game.
Now,
The
baseball might do what football does eventually.
No, it will never will. The Yankees and Red Sox will always be the Sunday night game.
No. I just meant flex games.
Yeah, I don't think personally. I don't think they will. More because the reason I want to talk about this on stream with you is because this probably would have been a discussion off stream. But like, it's not about the Yankees and Red Sox itself. It's about how the Yankees and Red Sox get games even when the Yankees or Red Sox are bad teams. And I like personally, as a baseball fan, forgetting I'm a Toronto fan, forgetting I'm a fan, as a fan of baseball, I don't want to see a team that doesn't hold interest. The Red Sox by themselves do not hold interest. And the Yankees have like 2 players who people care about. Now, they're pitching, different story. But with Judge and maybe Rizzo, because Rizzo is a little bit popular. They got Garrett Cole, and the rest of the team is they're just baseball players. They're not. They're nothing.
Dodgers and the Giants.
Yeah. Honestly, the Dodgers and Giants should be the game. Fuck the Yankees. They got it last week. Give us teams that are actually both good.
I don't make the thing.
I know you don't. I know.
I'm
but
curious.
Do you think that's ever going to change?
Ratings are for every night.
No. But do you think it's going to change though? Do you think it's going to ever change that baseball will actually put games that people want to see? Now you're absolutely right. I was actually wrong. I did look up something. They have flexed a few Sunday night games before, in August and September. Like when teams are bad.
I'm gonna post this in the chat, and this is why they get this.
Okay.
This is right here is why they get these games, and until this changes, you won't normally see. This is the ratings for Sunday night baseball.
Yeah.
Games on ESPN, MLB Sunday night.
Okay. Thank you for posting the chat. I'll post it at the bottom of our YouTube video as well.
Rating numbers.
Yeah.
Look at the rating numbers for the Yankees-Boston game versus some of the others. Even the Yankees-Dodgers. The Boston Yankees
I wish this was sortable.
It's not. You have to. I mean, it's from the newest to the oldest. So you get to see. And the week before, I mean, look, the Yankees have had they'll have 3 weekends in a row that they're on the Sunday night game, so.
Well, the thing is, I get, like, I see it. I definitely see it. And the Yankees, like, are one of the biggest teams in baseball. They're a pretty good baseball team, and they're one of the most world-renowned, popular teams. At the same time, though,
that rating number is why they'll get it, because people will watch them. And Boston Yankees, they'll get it because Boston's not a tiny city. New York's not a tiny city. And the fan base, you're talking Boston's fan base isn't just Boston. It's all of the New England.
100%.
So 100%. It's multiple states, multiple cities, and New York has fans all over the world. So you're going in where the money is you're gonna
honestly, and that's 100%.
The Dodgers, Yankees, ratings weren't even close.
Yeah. Well, and all the thing is that, and also there's another thing in that as well. It includes East Coast, and the East Coast, and it is a thing. East Coast bias is a thing because the East Coast brings your viewership, and when a game is between 2 Boston Yankees, that's an East Coast game, right?
If you scroll down to May 7th, however, you'll see that there was
Dodgers San Francisco 1.62,
San Francisco which had good ratings.
Yeah,
and the Mets in San Francisco, which is an East Coast versus a West Coast, did somewhat okay, and some of the areas. They didn't really,
1.39
baseball, so not too many people are watching baseball in April anyway.
But also, I don't do the age gaps. Is that the PEEF 18 to 49, 25 to 54? I don't worry about the age gaps because that's all subjective. But the viewership, because like you don't know how many people are watching at a bar. You know what I mean?
Right. But look out next. Well, technically, if you broadcast a game, you're supposed to report that, but no one ever does.
No one ever does, exactly.
But look at last year's Boston New York Yankees game. It beats out some of the others, and that's in September. So you're talking,
Yeah, like, and you're honestly, like you said, you're absolutely right why they do it, because they get the huge viewership. And like I said, I'm not arguing. I'm just thinking. So like
no.
part of
Look,
like
I
the
understand.
big
It's not
the biggest thing
equity.
is no one, maybe not equity, but just like I know every team gets a Sunday night game. That is an actual fact. Every
Yeah.
team gets one Sunday night game, and the lowest rated Sunday night game is usually the one with Toronto plays. Well, because Canadian
Right.
TV ratings do
Right.
not come over to America, which is why anything Toronto does, Canada does, is lower rated, even though Canada has more viewers than, like, on a bad game, we're getting 1.2 million viewers.
Well, we'll tell you, I don't know when that game is this year,
Yeah, me
but
neither.
I'll watch it. I'll
Yeah.
watch it and help it out. But
But no, but like I said, though, so do you ever think that baseball will move away from Boston Yankees if they are both bad at the same time? Because, like, to be fair, they really haven't. They've been not good, but they've never been both awful since, like,
they've both made playoffs. For there's very little
well,
times that
like
one
alternate.
of the
They've
other.
alternated. Yankees have been bad. Red Sox have been good. Red Sox have been bad. Yankees have been good. Alternating.
Would
You
you
know what I
say
mean?
bad though? Look, I
No,
understand they
they're
didn't
like,
make the playoffs, but they
yeah,
still had winning seasons. So
but to be fair, Red Sox are not a good team. Like, they're a better team than a lot of
Red
teams in the
Sox have
East.
been more.
But like in the AL East itself, they're lower teams. They're still a pretty good team because, hell yeah, they are one game below 500. So that's a pretty good team. If you're looking at the standings in Major League Baseball, they're literally only 5 games out of a wild card spot, right? And they're only like Minnesota was under 500 until a couple days ago. So totally fine. Like, they are a good team, and I get why the ratings. But like, for me as a baseball fan, if I'm trying to get people into baseball, I'm not gonna say go watch a Yankees Red Sox game. Like, even if it's fast now, because like, that's not a game that's gonna say, hey, there's players on this team that you're gonna fall in love with. Like for me, players your team are gonna fall in love with. Like, at the same time, there are players that you could fall in love with as a Yankees fan, Red Sox fan, and as a baseball fan. But if you want to get a person in who's only heard about baseball, you want to show them teams that have players.
And I agree. And I now.
Yeah. Now, personally, maybe we should table this discussion for another time, and then maybe talk about other things
and that's
baseball
fine.
can do.
ESPN is a good way for do that, but I feel those teams that people don't see as much should be more on the broadcast still. There's still people that may not have ESPN. I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
isn't as big of a deal. So
a lot of younger people just they stream. If they pay, I'll pay for MLB TV and I'll watch the games I can.
Yeah, I mean, baseball should do something like a YouTube game of the day or a game, something
they
like
tried
that.
They tried that.
Yeah, but they tried it.
And the YouTube game of the week was not very loved by the baseball community. So they switched off into a streaming
That's
service.
My biggest problem with MLB though is that they have to they don't allow multiple, because there's so much money tied into those broadcast agreements. They don't allow multiple broadcasts a lot of times in certain games.
Yeah, the only team that gets multiple broadcast is Canada. Occasionally for the Apple TV, we don't get that. The YouTube game, we don't get that.
YouTube or Twitch or something. What they need to do is do something like the Manning Cast on those platforms, where they're not actually a normal broadcaster. They're just people BSing about the game.
The YouTube one was kind of like that. It was kind of like they had like Cliff Floyd. They had a couple players chatting. Like, they did call the game. Like baseball's more of a game that you do want to have the people talk. Though part of the reason why I'm saying is because the broadcast crew for whoever's calling that Sunday night Yankees game, it felt like I was a little inebriated, but it absolutely felt like they were they didn't call a single play for like 2 innings. Or a whole inning. They just were talking about other teams, other games, other things going on, and the game was going on. They weren't like ground ball to short, like they weren't doing play by play. They were just sitting there chatting with each other, and it was honestly, I actually watched that entire game. I planned to mute it and just watch the game and not listen, but I listened to most of that game because of them. So maybe that's how they get people in, because we're laughing at the
What I
broadcast.
do like that ESPN does though, is their mic'd up players, and I'm curious who's going to be mic'd up.
Jose Trevino being mic'd up was very, very informative, and I did like that.
You know, a second catcher. I mean, and that's interesting. I like that because you get kind of an insight of how the underworkings of the game works.
Yes.
Yeah. Stuff.
Now he didn't talk much during the game because he's like, honestly, I'm gonna mention this to my baseball team as well, but he didn't want to talk to distract the hitters.
Right.
And there's a guy in my men's league who always chats when we were batting. So next time, if we're not, we happen to not play him, but if we ever did play him again, I'm gonna tell him, shut the fuck up, because you're not supposed to talk to distract the hitters. We're trying to play here for fun,
right?
Because like,
especially
come on,
in that, you know,
and like that's a professional thing to do. He decided, I'm not gonna talk when he's mic'd up and they're asking him questions, he's catching, and the innings are going quick. And like, honestly, I really appreciate that for like his perspective on like, you gotta, like, we're professionals. I gotta let him do his job as well. Because he could have talked. It's
interesting with the catcher though, because it's like he's got two things in his ear. Then he's got that pitch comm, and he's got the other, I mean,
he did.
It's like that takes talent.
Oh, it depends. No, it depends. They don't always have pitch come in their ears, do they? Like when the pitcher's not calling the game, because he was calling the game. I'm not 100% sure. Honestly, that's something maybe I'll look for. But like, to my knowledge,
we got to get an expert on pitch comm.
Yeah. Well, because like, I know that they do have pitch comm in ears, but if they're like, usually they only have pitch comm in their ears when the pitcher is calling the game, so they can hear what pitch the pitcher decided to throw. Right? Because I've seen Alejandro Kirk pull out the earpiece out of his ear, like in between innings, but I don't know if he puts it back in when Bassett's been removed, because Chris Bassett calls his own games.
So I'm trying to find out who's being mic'd up, but I don't know.
I don't think you know until, like, unless you watch ESPN, so you hear about it, right?
Oh, they don't make the announcement before. I thought they do PR announcements and stuff.
Well, I think they do on ESPN though. Like,
well, either way, I'm gonna call that. You know, I know we went into a tangent there,
yeah, we did. Well, personally,
I'll still say that series for me is the game, and we'll still have. You know, the thing is we can have the games for the rest of the league. We're still gonna want one of our teams playing, and we'll try to get fans of the 100% show to be fans of our team.
100%. Well, for me personally, I want you guys to be a fan of baseball. My stream is for when I make you a fan of the Blue Jays. But like, if you guys enjoy baseball, if you guys enjoy what you watch, like, the game is better, the game is more enjoyable, the game is more fun, and like, the game has a little bit more parity these days. Like, I know we have a bunch of divisions that are really, really beating it up, but there is a little bit more parity between the teams that aren't as good, and that is fun to see going into series. It makes for more exciting baseball, which in turn makes for more lifelong fans, because we were all hooked in by the excitement, not always by the game itself. Personally, I don't know.
I will give one game. That's the MLB free game of the week.
Okay.
Free game of the day.
Yep.
On Monday, because Monday is actually a national holiday here in the States. It's Juneteenth.
Yeah.
It's not everyone gets it off, but a lot of people do, because it's a national holiday.
Yeah.
That being said, it's a night game, but you know, I said that because I always think about the West Coast 3 hours back.
Yeah.
The Diamondbacks versus the Brewers play. That's a free game.
Yes. So that's what.
You can watch it. The you know, the blackout areas aren't going to affect most people in Arizona, because it's Arizona and Milwaukee. So most of the country will be able to watch that, and you don't have, you know, you can that should be a decent game.
It should be. And that's all. And like I said, baseball, so. It's free baseball, 100%, and that is also one of our mini games of the week as well. So is it? No, it's not. No, I thought it was.
No, we did Pitts versus.
Oh Brewers. No, we didn't. See, even I know you're screwing me up. We did Arizona versus Cleveland.
No, Did we?
Yeah,
I don't
we did Arizona versus
know.
Cleveland. We did.
Well, kind of. Yeah, I missed that on my writing down, so you'll
Hold
have to
on.
write that
And
down.
that, yeah, because
We need a note taker
yeah,
inside the
yeah,
stream.
yeah.
We're hiring.
Oh,
I'll
well,
give them uh
look it up. Flame T-shirt.
right off on my back. I'll
Yeah,
sign it and
yeah.
everything.
There you go. There you go. There
But
you go.
anyway, it was a good stream.
It was a good stream. Thank you, man. Thank you, man, for putting up with that little tangent.
We're still working on our contest.
Yes.
We're still working on the aspects of it, but it will be to help us name the podcast.
Yeah, because we still have a name.
You know,
we still have a name, guys.
Yeah, so we'll have some more information out there, but
in the coming weeks.
Yeah, neither of us have time to do anything, so it's always great. We had it planned today to talk about it, and then we both just didn't. So
we both were busy doing other things that weren't talking on Discord, and not being busy.
I probably was talking on Discord. I just forgot. I don't know. I'll have to look back at my logs.
Oh, man. No worries, bro. No worries. It was fun. Like I said, thank you guys for being here. As always, the podcast will be uploaded to YouTube. Hopefully it'll be uploaded this weekend.
And only you can help us stay on YouTube. Like and subscribe.
Exactly. So let's go. Here is the YouTube link if you guys want to watch other episodes of our podcast as well. And I'll be back tomorrow on stream, guys. Hopefully around at 10 or 11 a.m. We'll be going till 3 because I play baseball tomorrow. And so we'll be vibing out, and I'll be wearing a special costume. But also, because of Smokey fucking Bear, we got a shit ton of giveaways tomorrow. So starting at noon, we're going to be doing a lot of local leaderboards.
I want you to, I don't know if it was big in Canada, but that I was trying to play off of the Smokey Bear thing.
Ah, nice. Okay.
Only you, never mind.
Yeah. I don't.
You gotta explain,
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I don't think I watched that, but I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, it's a bear. This is only you who prevent forest fires.
Yeah. Oh no, that's not. Well, I live in a city, bro. Like I live in a legit city, concrete jungle.
Yeah, but you could still have a forest fire.
Not here. We don't have.
I'm not saying like it was in a commercial in the United States. It was a bear that came out and they're like, you're
yes,
gonna burn down the forest.
I have vaguely remember seeing that commercial. At the same time, I don't live near any forest, so like remember all those fires that were drowning
apparently
you?
there's no bears in Canada either,
Not where I live, except in a zoo. I live in a city. I live in New York, bro. I basically live.
Toronto Zoo?
I live basically in a cleaner version of New York in the suburbs.
I mean, look. And
so what's up?
Have you been to New York City?
Yes, I've been to New York City. It is not clean. Toronto is actually clean.
Where are you in New York City?
I've been to New York City. I've been to Brooklyn, and I've been to. I've driven through a bunch of other places, but those are two places I've actually been.
New York City's defense, it's got a lot more people than Toronto.
Yeah, but that means more taxes. So cleaner city.
People are disgusting.
I know. Hey, downtown Toronto smells like urine. So.
Well, I mean, look. You go to Subway.
So apparently they're still making those Smokey commercials, according to chat.
Well, look, that's important. So
yeah.
I was trying to be, like
I'm sorry.
Fast.
I live in the suburbs of a major city.
Make fun of me, but it's already.
Well,
there,
hold on.
So.
I did do the podcast thing. I did do the podcast thing.
I'll have to try it out. Not today.
I know.
Got enough today. And I want to let
Oh no!
Catch up to me. So
no, you don't have to try it out. I just let you know I did it, but I might change it now because we now have some goddamn great content. To change it to, if I remember. If I actually edit the video.
So maybe we discuss a little bit of recent injuries next week, or we'll figure something out.
We'll figure something out. We'll let you know. But like I said, there may be a special guest coming in a couple weeks, so stay tuned to the information we provide you. And
Smokey the Bear, not Smokey Bear. It's Smokey the Bear. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Here is our raid message, guys.
I'll keep on doing it.
Here is our raid message, guys. We're going to raid a lovely human of mine who's going to be an event we're going to be announcing tomorrow. It's going to be an event at the beginning of July, part of our Good Vibes tour. So if you guys want to go show him some love, guys, I'd really, really appreciate it. He's playing Nitro Stream Racing. and he is an absolute treasure of a human being. So please copy the raid message if you don't mind, and let's go show him some goddamn love.
While we're waiting, how's the zoo in Toronto? Have you been there?
Yeah, I've been to the Toronto Zoo. Not anytime recently, but I've been to the Toronto Zoo. We have pandas.
Wait, you got a panda?
We got multiple pandas.
Because the closest panda to us is DC or one in San Diego.
Well, so come to Toronto and go fucking see a panda.
Oh, I won't tell my. Yeah, I'll have to tell the oldest loves pandas. So
yeah, and honestly, the zoo is like literally down the street from me.
Yeah. So
I
everyone knows where you live now. You know,
well,
you live in concrete by the zoo.
It's not like down the street from me. I'm being generalistic.
Look, it's a city. You could probably give us, the coffee shop you go to.
Bro, okay, hold on. No. I remember, I don't live in the city. I live in the burbs. In a separate city that's no longer a separate city, that used to be a separate city.
It got swallowed. Yeah, that happens.
Oh, the worst decision my parents ever made. They even still say that they should not have voted for amalgamation because it turned out to be the worst thing.
Yeah, but how much did it win by? They wouldn't necessarily have.
No, it was close. It was close.
Or raiding.
Oh, we are rated. So peace, love, and rock and roll. Thank you for being here and invested, and I will see you